Zhang Yi could sense the difficulties they were facing. The leader's eyes at the base flickered with a hint of joy. The leaders fell silent, each lost in their own thoughts. Despite their dire circumstances, they found some balance in their shared predicament. Zhang Yi wasn't sure, but he felt Bianjuan Wu's eyes briefly glance in his direction after speaking those words. However, Bianjuan Wu wore sunglasses that obscured his gaze, perhaps it was just an illusion. In the presence of the 5 major forces, the last group to arrive was from the Baixue sect. The arrival wasn't Grandmaster Yuan Kongya but Zheng Yixian. This didn't strike anyone as strange. After all, Yuan Kongya rarely handled matters within the Baixue sect. Zhang Yi looked at Zheng Yixian and thought to himself, he's here again. It seems Yuan Kongya won't be managing affairs inside the Baixue sect anymore. Perhaps Zheng Yixian is the one in power now. Zheng Yixian politely greeted Bianjuan Wu and found a seat. Bianjuan Wu noticed all the major forces had arrived. He quietly checked his watch and then spoke, "Excellent, no one is late." His voice was cold, as if it emanated from the cracks of ice, unsettling those who heard it. Then Bianjuan Wu forcefully placed both hands on the table, looked around at everyone, and said, "With the sudden outbreak of zombies in Tianhai City, the largest forces here cannot evade their responsibility." These words made everyone's expressions serious. Zhang Yi frowned, his mouth showing a pensive look. "Do you know the purpose of the shelters?" he asked. "We won't discuss the Baixue sect for now. They belong to a grassroots organization. But you 4 major powers either directly control the shelters built by the government or inherit most of the resources from those shelters. Each shelter's purpose is to maintain stability in the region when the city faces danger." Bianjuan Wu smirked. "You seize the most valuable resources but refuse to take responsibility for preserving that peace. If not incompetence, then what?" Wei Dinghai, the most outspoken, retorted, "Mr. Bian, these are harsh words. Who among us doesn't want to maintain stability in Tianhai City? But this disaster is too large, appearing suddenly with countless zombies causing chaos everywhere. Even with our combined forces, we can't fully handle this threat. No matter what, we are not like the Jiangnan region, possessing large quantities of powerful weapons or the most elite troops in China." After Wei Dinghai finished speaking, Bianjuan Wu's eyes sharpened even further. He even embraced his arms and burst into laughter without restraint. "Ha ha ha." He spoke coldly, "If you are unable to deal with this threat, from now on, obediently follow my orders. This time, I will take command of the mission against the zombies. Each of your forces must unconditionally obey my orders." The expressions of everyone changed constantly. Zhang Yi's eyes also flashed with a sharp light. Does he really have to obey someone else's orders without choice? This is unacceptable to him, regardless of whether it's the Jiangnan region. He cannot accept it. If he follows someone else's mobilization, he will face mortal danger. Zheng Yixian spoke up, "We cannot accept this." Xingtian added, "Even if Jiangnan region holds a high position, you are just a few individuals. Wanting to command us is truly underestimating us." Xiao Honglian frowned and said, "Only when you send a large army here can we consider it." The leaders of the factions could not accept having their power usurped by others, especially by such a small team whose capabilities were unclear. Bianjuan Wu sneered, "Do you think I'm not qualified?" Bianjuan Wu asked, "So can you use your strength to resolve this threat?" After Bianjuan Wu asked, everyone remained silent for a while. The continuous attacks by zombies and rat swarms had caused them considerable headaches, and no one could be sure about this. Regardless, no one knew exactly how large the scale of the zombies and rats was. Bianjuan Wu mocked, "You are unable to effectively protect Tianhai City and allow zombies to spread to surrounding cities, affecting the residents of other urban areas. You cling too dearly to the small power in your hands and refuse to let go." Bianjuan Wu slammed the table hard, startling everyone. He emphasized, "Remember this well. Tianhai City does not belong to you alone. China still stands, and the Jiangnan region is the central command with the highest authority in the South region." Bianjuan Wu stood up from his chair. Despite appearing thin, he exuded an extremely high level of seriousness. He carried a strong military aura, a sense of gravity that Zhang Yi could feel. Bianjuan Wu spoke with arrogance, "I am here representing the Jiangnan region. What I say is the will of the Jiangnan region. If you refuse to obey my orders, the consequences will be something you cannot bear." Upon hearing this, Zhang Yi frowned but remained silent. His authority was limited to a small group of people. Therefore, if the command of the group was relinquished, the damage would be minimal, unlike the other major forces. They had large populations or resources. Nevertheless, no one wanted to lose complete control. It would place him and those around him in a dangerous position. Xiao Honglian crossed her arms and smirked. What if we don't follow your directive to send troops to exterminate us? In her heart, she was worried, but because this was a negotiation, she was determined to fight for her interests. Once authority was conceded, reclaiming it would be difficult. Xiao Honglian and others worried that if they lost control of their base, they would become dependent on the Jiangnan region, potentially losing their autonomy in the future. Bianjuanwu turned towards Xiao Honglian, silently observing her for about 10 seconds. Xiao Honglian spoke coldly, "Are you trying to scare me?" Bianjuanwu spoke slowly, "Do you think the current situation isn't serious enough? Do you believe this issue only concerns your city of Tianhai?" While the leaders pondered, Bianjuanwu continued, "I'll be frank with you. Our purpose in coming here is twofold. The first objective is to do our utmost with local strength to resolve the zombie threat and prevent it from spreading to other cities. The second objective, if we find the problem uncontrollable and beyond resolution with manpower." Bianjuanwu abruptly paused, then slowly sat back down, saying, "We may have to abandon the entire city of Tianhai." His tone was calm but chilling. However, in the hearts of the leaders of the 5 major forces, it felt as cold as ice. Zhang Yi couldn't help but swallow hard. His expression turned serious as he silently pondered, is it really going to be like this? He had contemplated this situation. If the zombie threat in Tianhai City became too severe and showed signs of spreading to surrounding cities, abandoning it would be the best choice for the Jiangnan region. Similar to the human body, if there's an ulcer that cannot be cured with medicine, surgery to remove it is the only option. Thus, Bianjuanwu's investigative team was like medicine. But if this medicine loses its effectiveness, the next step would indeed be surgical removal. Zhang Yi felt a shiver of fear. If that happened, Tianhai City would cease to exist entirely. He absolutely did not want to face such consequences. Others understood Bianjuanwu's intentions as well. For a while, everyone fell into silence. Even Xiao Honglian, who was usually hot-tempered, couldn't retort. The Jiangnan region could easily crush them with a small gesture, simply by pressing a button. Bianjuanwu was very satisfied with everyone's reaction. He spoke coldly, "From now on, all armed forces in Tianhai City must unconditionally obey our orders." Xiao Honglian, Wei Dinghai, and Xingtian had complex expressions, but now, they truly had no authority to confront the Jiangnan region, so they remained silent. At this moment, Zhang Yi slowly spoke up, "I am willing to support your actions, but as you said, your investigative team is here because the local forces cannot handle the zombie and rat problem. Therefore, you will also need to intervene and command them. However, if we can solve the issue within our own capabilities." Bianjuanwu looked at Zhang Yi, but his sunglasses hid his true expression. Xiao Honglian smirked, "Zhang Yi, what are you implying? Don't tell me you think that only those in your shelter can handle a large number of zombies and rats."